After cleaning up from the food safety fallout, the force came back to this fast casual superstar. With fourth quarter earnings in the books, does the stock need a little kick? Or will investors line up and order their usual?
Right after the close, we got results from one of the best performing stocks of 2019, Chipotle. The Mexican chain posted a 13-cent earnings beat off a $2.73 basis, higher than expected revenue, up 17% year over year. Even better, their same-store sales grew at a 13.4% clip, much better than the 9.8% number that Wall Street was looking for. Oh, and the digital business, it's exploding, up 78%. It's about 20% of the business. Stock didn't do much in after hours trading, but I think it's because it's been on an incredible tear, up 250% from its lows just a couple of years ago when we said it's time to buy. Can the momentum be maintained? Let's take a closer look with Jack Hartung, the CFO of Chipotle Mexico. Learn more about the quarter and where the company's headed. Jack, welcome back to Mad Money.
Hey, Jim, great to hear your voice.
All right, Jack, two things jump out at me here. An incredibly fast-growing loyalty program, already 8 million, it just started. And then 19.6% of your sales are already digital. These two initiatives came out of nowhere, and I think they're just beginning.
Jim, listen, I couldn't agree more. We're just getting started. The loyalty, if you compare our loyalty plan to other, companies that have had a loyalty plan at the same stage, we're way ahead of that. We think that's a tribute to the natural loyalty that people have with the Chipotle brand, but also to the marketing and the awareness building to attract people into the program. The best thing, though, Jim, is we haven't really monetized that. We haven't really turned that into a personalized program where we're communicating on a one-to-one basis with our customers. So this is more what I would call it infrastructure building. And I think on the digital, the same thing is what we found is that the more convenient we can make it for our customers to eat Chipotle when and where and how they want to, whether it's delivery, whether it's pickup and knock it out of your car with our new Chipotle lanes, our customers are responding, and we're in early days in every one of those elements.
I think people should understand. There was an article today I was reading after saying, well, the costs are up. The fact is that the costs that you take up front are very small compared to what you're going to be able to get from a newly loyal customer.
Yeah, no question about it, Jim. During the year, our margins grew 180 basis points. During the quarter, they grew 220 basis points. And yet we do have these investments that are embedded into our cost structure. And so we feel like the margin potential, while our margins have grown significantly, we think the potential for even greater margin expansion in the future, as long as we continue to attract more customers, into the Chipotle system and including into the digital system, which has tends to have a higher margin, we think the margin potential only goes up from here.
One of the things I love about your company is, yes, everybody has to compete on wages, but you're competing with mental health benefits. You're competing with tuition free. You're competing with social things that we all love that we never expected to get from a restaurant.
Yeah, Jim, it's a tough environment to attract and then to keep, great people. And what we found as we talked to our folks is, yes, they want a competitive wage. And so those are table stakes, and you've got to pay what the going wage is. But then you've got to invest in your people. And invest means invest to develop them so that they can be great in the kitchen. Invest to develop them so they can run a business. Invest to develop them so they can be great leaders. But they also do need some another helping hand in some cases. Mental health, not only for our employees, but for their families as well, is something that makes them feel good about being part of Chipotle. Not just the employee, but their family as well. They feel like they're, wanted and needed and appreciated, in the Chipotle family. Debt-free degrees was a big deal. I mean, it was great. For years, we've had tuition reimbursement or tuition assistance, but it still meant that people were going to leave their college experience with some debt. And, that can be crippling to some folks. And so we took care of that as well. So it takes some of those worries that are outside of the Chipotle, four walls, if you will, so that when they come to Chipotle, they commit their whole entire self. And we think that's going to be a great way for us to retain our best people for a very long time.
You're also doing something new that I just love, and I think a lot of us would love. You're doing a test of new formats, one of which is a walk-up window across from Wrigley Field. Can we see this blown out? That's got to be a big success.
Yeah, I was at that restaurant, several weeks ago, Jim. The restaurant is fantastic. It's a little over 2,000 feet, so it's a little smaller than our normal footprint. It's our new design. It looks great. As soon as you walk in the restaurant, digital pickup shelves are right there. But if you don't want to walk in the restaurant, which, on game day, I'm sure there's going to be a crowd out there, all you have to do is order ahead and walk up to the window. And it's the first one of its kind in the country. We've got a couple other sites that we think that we can take a shot at it. I wouldn't expect to see every restaurant with a walk-up window, but in urban areas where it looks like there's a lot of walk-up business, again, it's another opportunity for us to make the Chipotle experience even more convenient than ever. Whenever customers respond by saying, this is how I want to eat Chipotle, we're going to try to deliver.
Are you happy with what the different companies are doing with delivery for you? Are you able to be sure and monitor the quality, given the fact that a lot of these delivery companies, they have the same guy doing 40 different things, and it's usually not Chipotle style?
You know, generally we are, Jim. With delivery, there are execution challenges, and that's both on our side and on the delivery company side as well. You know, the delivery experience, we're making the meal without the customer walking down the line like they would in the restaurant. We've got to make sure we execute at a very high level so that we don't forget anything. And then we've got to have a partner where we get feedback about how the experience is. How was the timeliness? What was the quality of the food? And we've got to really partner together to make sure when we disappoint our customers, we both have to own that. And so far, so good. And that's why we've been very careful about not just signing up with every single delivery company. We did on today's call say we're open to the idea of exploring some additional aggregators, but it's got to be the right partnership, not just in terms of the business terms of, yes, you'll pick up our food and here's what we'll pay you. It's got to be an end-to-end brand experience that we're both proud of.
All right, one last question. There were a surprising number of new Chipotles opened up. There are some people who think that there is no more room for Chipotle. It seems to me that, if anything, there's much more room for Chipotle than we thought.
We're not even halfway there, Jim. We opened a record number of restaurants, 80 in the fourth quarter. We're just over 2,600. By today's math, we know that we can double that. But when we do things like Chipotle, that creates opportunities for us to go into trade areas that maybe we couldn't have before, where you can put a smaller restaurant where you have a drive-up window. And we're looking right now at trade areas that we hadn't looked at in the past. So I think as we approach that number of 5,500 or so, that number is only going to go up. And so, yeah, we're in early days in terms of how many restaurants we can bring to our customers.
And venues that I haven't thought of, or venues that we really need more of, like airports?
We're in a couple airports right now. We're open to the idea of getting into more airports. They're a little more challenging to get into unless you want to look at a franchising model. We've not franchised any of our restaurants across the world, mainly because we want to make sure that we do have full control over the brand experience that we're providing to our customers. So customers do want us to appear in airports. Right. We just got to make sure we work on the right deal and who controls that experience.
Oh, good. I'll know you'll never compromise. We know what others have done. They've compromised and they've hurt their brands. Jack Hartung, CFO of Chipotle. Big news here. They can put up a lot more. There's a lot more ahead. Mad Money's back after the break.
Don't miss a second of Mad Money. Follow @JimCramer on Twitter. Have a question? Tweet Cramer. #MadTweets. Send Jim an email to madmoney@cnbc.com or give us a call at 1-800-743-CNBC. Miss something? Head to madmoney.cnbc.com.